Yo, what is going on, guys? Digrex here, and today I'm coming at you with a brand new video. And in today's video, I just want to be taking a look at the new Spare Rations drops with the loot pool changes. So recently, I just did 20, tier 3 runs of Reckoning. Somebody on Reddit actually made a spreadsheet and said that tier 3 is basically always better to do than tier 2. So we are going off of tier 3 based off most of what the community has come up with. People think that tier 3 is just overall better than tier 2 for the farm with this new loot system, just because drops come much more frequently with tier 3. So I will tell you guys that this is all from tier 3 grinding. This is what I got from 20 tier 3. So I actually got 4 spare rations. Now obviously you have to do this on spare rations day. And I got an Outlast and a Gnawing Hunger. This Gnawing Hunger I already had before. But I got an Outlast that has Outlaw and Rampage, which is pretty cool. It's a cute little roll. And I got a Gnawing Hunger with Swashbuckler and Tap the Trigger. Don't really care about this that much because I already have this Gnawing Hunger with Overflow and Rampage. I mean, this is the Masterworked one. This Spare Rations is Masterworked just because this is the one I settled on, and I wanted to see what it was like, because it is a range Masterwork, and I wanted to see what it was like with the full potential in the range. So these are the 4 Spare Rations I got. So with these 6 drops, I did 20 runs. That comes out to about an average of a drop every 3.33333 repeating runs. So you'll get it every 4 runs. You're guaranteed at least 1 drop. Of course, this is random. But at least every 4 runs, you're guaranteed at least 1 drop, and then you'll probably get another one in there somewhere, which is what happened to me. And I actually got 4 of my 6 drops out of my 20 runs were spare rations, because if you do this on spare rations day, you will get a lot of spare rations. So this is the roll I decided on. None of them are really perfect, but I just wanted to make this video to tell you guys what I think of the new loot system for Reckoning. And I did this all in Reckoning. None of these are from Gambit Prime or anything like that. What I think of the new loot system for Reckoning, and what I think of the spare rations. So here is a roll that I really kind of do like. This is the one I was messing around with before I masterworked this one. But the thing is, the range just doesn't really compete as well with it. Although I did like the handling and stability on it. The reason I liked this Spare Rations is because it had moving target, which increases movement speed and target acquisition when moving while aiming down sights, which is basically every gunfight. And it also had ricochet rounds, which increases the range and the stability, which is really good. Corkscrew rifling increases range and stability as well as handling speed. So this doesn't really matter. Kills parts to reload magazine, which was like kind of nice. And I do like the Spare Rations. The only reason is just because of the range, honestly. And it is a handling masterwork, so this thing could have the potential to have a lot of handling. This is why I really like this one, so we might be keeping this one. I don't know which one's going to be my main. So here we have auto-loading holster, hipfire grip, flared magwell, and hammer forged rifling. This one, honestly, this one is pretty bad. I really just don't dig that one at all. That one is pretty useless. And while we're dismantling stuff, might as well dismantle this Gnawing Hunger, because I'm never gonna use this one ever. This one I put a kill counter on. This is the first one I got. I like the hipfire grip. The reason I put a kill counter on it is honestly because I thought I just grinded for 1 and I didn't really want to grind anymore, but then I was like, let's see with this new loot what we can do. So this one isn't that great. It's got light mag, hammer forged rifling, substance, and hipfire grip, which really isn't anything special at all. So we're also going to dismantle this one. So in the gameplay coming up here that I'm going to narrate over, you'll see I was switching between this one and this one, both of which I like a lot, and we're going to put a kill counter on this one actually. Just because I like having kill counters on my guns. I like seeing how many people I actually have killed with them. So we've been switching between these two. Both of them have been very good for me. They do have a little bit of a different feeling. Once you activate Rampage with this range, it tears at super long ranges. But this one's handling is absolutely superb. I love the handling on this one. as well as the stability, and the moving target feels really nice. So this one honestly is just so sticky and so fast, like it sticks on people's heads and it's so fast. That's the reason I like the feeling of this one. So they're just a little bit different. And yeah, let's move into some of the gameplay here. So this was my first time using Spare Rations, and honestly, all this footage you're seeing is from my first game. I mean, it's not like crazy footage or anything like that, but this was my first game using Spare Rations, and I can say, for my first impressions, this gun feels super sticky. I mean, just the target acquisition, everything is so clean. I mean, I was 3-tapping enemies. I mean, I'm not warmed up to this weapon at all. I'm warmed up to the Last Word. I'm warmed up to the Trust right now. Those are the 2 hand cannons I've been using most, and I've even been using some of the pulse rifles, like Last Perdition, stuff like that. And this thing just felt so nice to play with for the first time. I mean, it just felt so good, and it's quite easy to get right now. So like I said, this game plays a mix between those 2 roles that I said I liked earlier, and honestly, this gun just feels so easy to use. I think this is probably my favorite hand cannon in Destiny, just because it just feels so easy to use and versatile in many different ways. In my opinion, it feels better than the Austringer. It feels better than Waking Vigil. It feels better than pretty much every other hand cannon. This might be my new favorite hand cannon. But I do want to talk about how Bungie has changed the tables for this. A week like this week, it is super easy to get. I mean, you just put a couple hours in and you'll have a ton. I mean, this thing is probably one of the easier hand cannons to get a god roll on now. Probably easier than Austringer, easier than Waking Vigil. So take that as you will. That's a little bit weird for me that this thing went from one of the rarest hand cannons to get a god roll on to maybe one of the easiest, depending on what week you grind. This is a Spare Rations week, and I would recommend doing it while Heavyweight is active, because of course Heavyweight just makes it extremely fast, easy boss melts, easy bridge fight. You know how it be. So honestly, I'm a little bit conflicted about how easy they made it to get one of these better rolled Spare Rations, because now everybody's got Mountaintop, everybody's got Spare Rations, everybody is just going to be running around with all these OP weapons that were before pretty exclusively hard to get. Now I'll admit Mountaintop quest was probably a little bit too difficult, and Spare Rations might have needed a little bit of help with the drop rates, but maybe not this much. So maybe talking about loot tuning in the future, Bungie, I think they went a little bit too far for this. I think the changes to the Menagerie they made with the public event, and now you get an extra bonus, I think the Menagerie loot changes are fine, although I think this may have been a little bit too much. I mean, 20 runs, I got 6 drops, 4 of which being Spare Rations. I don't know if I was just lucky with the Spare Rations drops or what, but seems to me like it's going to be a little bit too easy to get, a little bit too good of a hand cannon. We're going to have to see what happens in Shadowkeep with that, because I don't want all the weapons in Shadowkeep to be overshadowed by things that we already have. So we'll see moving forward what they decide to do. Maybe there'll be an even better hand cannon, making Spare Rations irrelevant. I don't know, because now it's extremely easy to get. People, instead of grinding 8 hours, you can grind an hour and a half and get pretty goddamn good roll. So we'll have to see what they do moving forward with the loot tuning, with really good weapons like this that, I mean, they just changed the loot tables for a bunch of stuff, so a lot of stuff is a lot easier to obtain. So yeah, guys, just my thoughts on it. I think they went a little bit too far with the Spare Rations, but nevertheless, I am enjoying messing around with a few different roles of mine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more Destiny. Going to be playing some Borderlands as well, and random games I might be streaming. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's been Digrex. Peace.
And I'm open to mine, so we all need some time just to settle down. Won't you come around, 'cause I never can leave it alone. Talking about somebody rolling, boulevard dining, making it count for efforts I can't explain. Balling and feeling we drowning, never been humbled by playing the fighter.